Hello everybody, I'm Nick, and in this video I want to talk about this Reddit post talking about getting destroyed in the .NET interview. But the reason why I want to talk about it is because it seems that it's heavily database focused. And there's this discussion about, is EF Core making us worse on SQL and RDBMS related things because all that is abstracted away? And how much should you know as a mid-level developer mainly, because this interview was conducted in the context of a mid-level developer. So let's take a look at what we have. So I got interviewed of a .NET and got destroyed. The syntax is not great, but the idea is someone was interviewed for a .NET role, I'm assuming, and they got destroyed, meaning it went really, really bad. So technically the interview had two people, a software manager and a senior developer. So I got asked about the architecture and how to improve the performance of an API call. I answered as follows. First, track the issue that is causing the slowdown of the system using debugging tools. So that is a good start. Profiling the application and debugging the application to see what is your bottleneck, adding some instrumentation, some stopwatches maybe in an ad hoc way is a good way to start. You can go even deeper with deeper profiling tools, mainly from JetBrains or whatever you have in your IDE. That is a good starting point in my opinion. After finding the issue, try and see what is the API issue for being slow. And if it is a database query, try to minimize the database calls. And the person said minimizing the whole link query and using a referred execution approach. For example, we should use pagination. And after that, the interviewer asked, what else could you do if the problem still persists? The person told to the interviewer, I don't know, and mentally prepared myself for rejection letter. Now, a massive thing when you're interviewing is you have to also ask questions. You have to be able to interact with the developers as if they're part of your team and allow them to sort of give you hints without necessarily asking for the answer. This is a massive thing on interviews, and interviews is a whole topic on its own, especially technical interviews. In case you don't know, I was a senior engineering manager. I conducted hundreds of interviews, saw thousands of CVs, and hired tens of engineers for my team and others. So I'm very well aware of this process. In fact, in some of the companies I work for, we did both a take-home test, but also a test where you sit down with another engineer, you pair program, and you go back and forth to understand what is happening in the system, how to improve it, how to refactor it, and so on. So this is not very uncommon, but you have to ask questions, and it doesn't sound like this person did that. They potentially got too defensive and too defeated in a way, and they gave up. So when this happens, it sort of tells you that, yeah, it will be in many ways a database query issue. And from what I understand from saying I saw it doing two save change async calls, the application was using EF Core. Now, EF Core is a popular piece of technology, but it is not SQL itself. It abstracts away the SQL. And that's a massive problem for some people, because depending on how the company is set up, do you have DBAs, who's reviewing the API calls and so on, you can end up making many mistakes because you don't necessarily understand how the link you write translates into the SQL behind the scenes. Now, there are ways to debug them. For example, I would say just print all the queries in the console so I can see exactly what's going on and get some hints. So if you can print the queries and then you can see how long they take, you can understand how you can make them better. Now, this person is saying the senior chipped in wanting the last slice of me and asked how to improve a transaction API call. The person said they saw two save change async calls, so they said we just remove one and we only have one in the end to potentially reduce some of that load. Now, is that necessarily the right answer? I mean, yeah, you can only have one save change async, but there are contexts where you can have multiple ones. So this again depends on the code. Unfortunately, we don't have the code. If you are this person and you have the code, please send it over and I will make a separate video reviewing the code and actually doing the test myself. And if any of you know of this test, I haven't seen this before, but if you know this code base, please point me to it and I'm going to make a video on it. So after that, the person said they're done, thanks, bye, and the call was over. Now, this person edited this post a couple of times. So I did talk about DB indexing problem performance. So can we add an index and potentially improve the performance? But the role was about a mid-level developer. And after the person started digging, the company was sort of falling apart. But I see this more as an excuse. Also, you do your digging before your interview, so you have to improve your interviewing workflow a bit and researching the company. That's all besides the point. Is the indexing thing a good thing to mention? Yes, absolutely it is. But you have to dig into what's the index you even need, and it doesn't seem like this person did that. Also, it seems from experienced people that to level up from junior to mid or senior, you need extensive DB knowledge that might be on a DB admin level. And this is not really the case, I think, for most companies I've seen, but it heavily depends on the company. Because if the company is an old school, sort of big fat queries or store procedures or very outdated usage of EF core, maybe you do need that. But if you have DBAs in place, they will approve what you write anyway. It should be part of the workflow. So should you have DB knowledge, especially SQL DB knowledge? Yes, in my opinion, you should. When I joined many years ago as a junior, Phil, my manager at the time, did not sit down to teach me C#. He sat me down and he taught me SQL because that's what the business needed, and a lot of the logic at the time was on CTEs and store procedures, so I had to know SQL. And I think if you're a developer right now and you want to get promoted and go to the next level, you shouldn't worry about coding that much. Coding will get better naturally as you write more code, but your DB knowledge, your DevOps knowledge, your cloud knowledge, things around coding is actually going to give you a boost over the competition way more than the code itself. The code itself is usually simple. It's not that complicated. And from a mid to a senior, yeah, you might have a difference in skill. But the way I think about it is, imagine you have a scale from 0 to 100 to represent your skill. If you are 50 as a mid and you're senior at 70, there's only a 20-point difference to go to a senior level. But if you start and you get mid on DB related things and then DevOps things and then cloud things, those all give you 50 points compared to the 20 you're going to get just on this single vertical, which is only part of what you're doing. So DB knowledge is absolutely necessary for anyone. RDBMSs are not going anywhere. And understanding how they work and how you can improve them is a skill that everyone needs. So you absolutely need DB knowledge. I wish we had the code so we can actually debug this and get it better. But the biggest mistake that this person did is they did not ask enough questions, in my opinion, to get to the bottom of this. But in many ways, it looks like the interviewer wanted to get more out of their database knowledge. Now, I'm going to take a look at the comments. So I think he may have been looking for DB knowledge. Yes, they have. At that point, I would have suggested looking at the execution plan for the query. Yes, absolutely right. Check if it's an indexing issue. Also looking at include statements to make sure the call wasn't asking for information that wasn't needed for this particular request. They would also suggest looking at projection through the select statement to only pull back the fields that you actually need. All of these are great suggestions. Without seeing the code, however, we can't really say what's going on. But don't feel too disheartened. Interviews can seem to go bad and eventually you get the job. I had this happen for me twice in my career. So you only have to perform better than the competition. You don't have to be the best in your own, you're not on your own path and you have to score 80. You just have to score 1 point more than everyone else competing for this role. Now, some more general optimization on the top of this person's head is look for slow link and you have to profile and take a look at them. Query split, this is pretty new. I'm not sure a new junior developer or mid developer would know about this unless they've been keeping up with the latest trends. Projections, yeah, select only the fields you need. It's a great way to do it. Remove lazy loaded entities, support optional pagination, indexes, then slow data types involved in queries, especially full text column sets, reduce database calls, atomic transactions, find any n+1 problems. These are all amazing points. Yeah, update .NET version if it's old. I mean, sure, but again, this should be in a very bottom of the list, and thankfully it is. Update any framework version if it is old. Upgrade server plans. You know, the lower you go in your problems, the closer to the metal basically you go. So you go from the code to the database to the versions of things to the metal itself. Also, horizontal scaling. I would not expect a mid-level developer to know what horizontal auto-scaling is. Like, this is really pushing it, especially if you're not on a cloud provider as well. It's very hard to do something like this on a non-cloud provider. And then it goes even deeper and even deeper and even deeper. Yeah, there's many things you can raise, but would I expect all of this from a mid-level developer? We're asking too much, I think, at this point. Then Gareth has a great point. You're supposed to ask questions. It's a back and forth, just like you would do when you're pair programming. That's the approach you should take. They weren't wanting a slice of you. They're just trying to understand how you approach a problem. Especially if you do interviews on a whiteboard, the whole point is for people to see the way you think on solving the problem. It's not necessarily if you will end up solving the problem, it's can you communicate your thought process and potentially work in an environment where people are telling you how to solve the problem. So this is all very fair to raise. Do I think that developers should pay more attention in RDBMS and SQL? Absolutely. You should know your SQL really, really, really well. And I think it's a great way to differentiate yourself from everyone else, especially in a world where EF Core is getting more and more popular and more of the SQL stuff is abstracted away. You can differentiate yourself by fully understanding both the EF Core stuff and the SQL stuff. That's why I always recommend using Dapper in most cases, because it will force you to ask the right questions, Google for the right answers, and end up with a more controlled environment. If you don't want to use Dapper and use EF Core, at least understand what you're doing. At least that's what I think. But I want to know what you think. What do you think about all of this? And do you think that this is fair to ask for a mid-level developer? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Well, that's all I had for you for this video. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, keep coding.